All right, we are back here with another episode. This time we're going to talk about the legal and the personal injury space. I'm Jonathan Dane, the CEO and founder, and I'm joined here with our director of CRO, Aaron Packard.
Hey, guys.
Thanks for joining us. So we have 3 examples today that we're going to go over, and we kind of talked before, went over some of the feedback that we got from Usability Hub, and wanted to take you guys to, of course, like the actual funnel that can be pretty short, from like an ad to a landing page to then action.
Yep.
And so we went around the country and we typed in some keywords like car accident attorney New York, slip and fall, dog bite, those kind of things. And we wanted to show you some good examples of what we think we think is really impressive, and some bad examples. And hopefully, you can find some things to use. The first person law firm that we actually took our eyes on was the one that's not too far from here, local actually. And so Jacob Emrani. And this is actually his non-branded search. So if you were to like search for, slip and fall injury lawyer or accident lawyer, you would come to this. Now, we've talked about this too, and I just noticed, by the way, how there's a dollar sign missing. I didn't see this before.
There's a few typos on the page. Some cause for concern.
Yeah.
I think overall the page, honestly, it looks great. Off the bat, but I think that there is some feedback that we're getting from the people on. What's it called again?
Usability Hub.
Usability Hub, thank you. And some people had some feedback with some of the social proof on the page. I mean, they had some comments about him not looking as trustworthy. I also noticed on the page that there aren't any testimonials actually, which I'm sure he has testimonials somewhere, somewhere on Google or Facebook or wherever people are rating him. Yeah. But as you can see, there's some awards that he's won, but sure. What I want to know is, what are some positive experiences that other visitors who have worked with him, what are some of those stories? Yeah. So then I will, be more inclined to sign up because there's less risk involved. If more people have had more positive experiences, that's something that you definitely want to showcase here.
For sure.
I think, going through the form right here, you can go through and see that it's a multi-step form.
Yeah.
And I think,
which I actually like, because most of the time everybody says get a free consultation, type in your actual information, and to get them to take that first step into actually converting on the form by asking something that's relatively anonymous. We'll see this in the other examples too.
Yeah.
From a general standpoint of like, this is traffic that does not know Jacob Emrani. Like, this is super smart to me, because people come in and they're like, 1, I don't think I know if I actually have a case, and 2, I don't know how much it's worth, right? And so this was like something where I'm like, this makes a ton of sense.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think this type of core offer, a free case evaluator, is a lot stronger and a lot more differentiating of a core offer than just getting a simple consultation.
Right.
Because that's just telling me I'm going to get a sales call from some guy on the other end of the phone line, and that's not giving me what I want in return.
Yeah.
One thing I probably would change is maybe making a qualifying question that's a little more relevant to the core offer. I mean, city, of course, you want to make sure that you're local, but maybe having a drop down asking, what the incident was, or, did the injury require you to miss work, stuff like that.
Sure.
Just making sure you're covering your bases there and you're making the form process seem as relevant to the core offer as possible.
I like what you said. So basically, like, the city is not as relevant to figure out if you have a case or not versus like what the actual injury was. Or like, did you miss work? Because now we can have additional damages.
Yeah, it's definitely something I would ask like further down in the form, because that might be necessary information to make sure that the person is local to the lawyer. But is it relevant completely to the core offer, and is it going to tell me what I'm going to get in return? Not so much.
Probably not. Okay, cool. Let's take a look. Same lawyer, but now this is the more like branded search right here. So we did this again. We saw law offices of Jacob Emrani. You obviously have some competitors down here. We're not going to care much about this, because from what you can still squeeze out as far as performance from your PPC campaigns is limited, especially when it's on your own brand. But I was really, really curious to see that like this was the experience now. And so it's like, you already heard him in a radio ad or saw him on a billboard potentially. And Jacob's like getting straight to the point, which I'm like, that's so smart. Because you have the people who are not sure, like it still says personal injury case evaluator, right? But it talks about talking to Jacob to get on the phone. Yeah. Because even when you go through the case evaluator, which was the example before, you still have to talk to somebody at the end. Yeah. They're just really smart at like getting you take those initial steps.
Exactly. He knows his audiences, and he knows that this is the bottom of the funnel audience that, you know, is familiar with his brand and that already, you know, want to work with him.
Yep.
So I agree.
And now this section is new too. There's a little video from him as well too.
I'm wondering if it's an A/B test actually.
Yeah, maybe.
Could be.
Maybe I just got cookied and I'm stuck. All right. So just so you guys know, this is Usability Hub, and basically what we look for is feedback from random people that kind of show the similar disposition or like similar feedback that they're giving, right? Because if everybody, if each 10 of them, there's only 10 participants in this one, but if each of them have like something different to say, we're like, there's not really much to take, right?
Yeah.
But if multiple people are saying the same thing, which is one of the examples we're going to show, then we're like, oh, there's a cause for concern, or there's a cause for opportunity that we can actually take advantage of this.
And this is a great example too of utilizing your visitors to give you information that you can fix on the landing page. I mean, these are people that, you know, are already landing on your page. It's not like you have to pay money to get them to answer questions on what their experience is on the page. Right. But it's important to listen to your visitors' reaction and see what changes you can make there.
The thing that stood out the most was like the image of a sleazy lawyer.
Yep,
the guy looks like a stereotypical lawyer. The person looks fake, not personal. Yep. So if I were to see this, like one of the ideas I would have would be like, let me show my entire law firm, like the actual people who are going to be picking up the phone or going to be dealing with my case, because I might not be like using or working with Jacob and Ronnie by myself, right? So that would be a sweet like little split test you can try there and see if that increases trust, because everything else, especially with the slick back here, even though that's what you look like, people might have again those stereotypical
and concerns. The dollar signs above the fold. You know, I mean, it's cool and it definitely conveys the message, but is it telling the visitor that this is a professional lawyer who will fix your case and is going to get you your money back? I'm not so sure that it's really communicating that as strongly as it could.
Cool.
But
I agree. Yeah. Awesome. Let's go to the next one. This is Jacoby and Myers we identified. So the search, if you can see it, is car wreck lawyer, and his ad says car wreck attorney. So from an ad perspective, what we tout a lot about is that 1-to-1 ratio between search term and ad. When that happens, your relevancy increases, your click-through rates increase, your quality scores go up, your cost per click goes down. So especially in a very expensive industry like this, anything counts that you can take advantage of. So I'd be really curious to see like what, you know, popping the hood and seeing what's underneath, like what other like underlying things are not lining up from like a 1-to-1 ratio. So other than that, like great usage of obviously all the real estate space that you can't really complain about that. So this is their landing page, but of course this is also their homepage. And so you had mentioned that there's some things that stand out a lot on this page, right?
Yeah, I mean, first and foremost, I mean, it's clear that there's a video here to learn more about their office, and that's great. Having video content is great to put on a landing page. But one thing I don't have is a form above the fold. I don't know what action to take. So
what should I do?
Awesome video, but I don't know what action to take. So bringing the form above the fold, making sure that it is, you know, asking those qualifying questions to really get the visitor in the funnel, and making sure that they feel the experience on the landing page is as customized to their individual problem as possible. Right. So,
and this one definitely isn't, right? Because again, it talks about everybody's ad has a free consultation.
Yep.
No person thinks that a lawyer is going to charge for a consultation today, from what we've seen, right? So using that as your CTA, and then again, not asking the qualifying questions of like, what type of injury did you have? How long ago did it happen? Did you miss work? Like those are great first step questions. And then you also have like, you know, the CTA common pitfall of like down here, like, give me the value. Give me the value of what happens next.
What am I submitting? Exactly.
Right.
And I think you hit the nail on the head too with the free consultation, kind of like what we discussed earlier. A consultation isn't really telling me exactly what I'm going to get. Like, the top frequently asked question that visitors are asking is how much money are they going to get? How much money are you going to be able to give me?
What's my case worth?
Exactly. What's my case worth? So, you know, getting a free case evaluation, see how much my case is worth. Those are much stronger call to actions that are a lot more solution.
And this is the thing too, like in the beginning, like, I'm sorry, but like everybody knows that like you're supposed to have experience. So like highlighting that is fine, but like it's not going to be that impactful. This is real estate space you can use for everything else, right? You can say, hey, how many cases did we actually win last month? You can use that right there instead. Or you can say, here's a total amount of cases we've won. Here's a list. I mean, you can make it anonymous, right? Because you can't share like the person who like was in an accident that like you won money for. But you can say, this person, female from Norfolk, Virginia, like $40,000. The case took this long. That's the other question. Like, how long does a case take?
Exactly.
How much time do I need to invest once you tell me that, like, I do have a case? Like, what's required?
Yeah.
Like, all those frequently asked questions are not nowhere to be found, which is shocking.
And a great starting point for that is literally just keeping track of all the common questions that you're asked on the sales call or the consultation call that you're having with your visitors. You know, keep track of the questions that they are asking so you can answer those questions on the landing page. So they, have all those questions answered before they even reach out to you.
Yeah.
Another thing on this page that we noticed was if you go down, no fees unless you win the case. I think it mentions this on the page at least half a dozen times, which is great. It's a great differentiator, and I think it's definitely worth mentioning. However, I think that there are a lot of other UVPs and commonly asked questions that we can really tackle on the page instead of just kind of like repeating ourselves as we go on the page.
Like we talk about real estate, like no fees, right?
Yeah.
We will not charge you. Yeah. 40 years of experience. 40 years of experience. And it was like up here too.
Yeah. I have years
so
of
it's like,
experience.
it's great. And you can use that. But guarantee you, like if we put an actual scroll map on this and see how far people scroll, they're going to get like bored. Like they're going to, and the same thing, like maybe your video isn't that great. Because videos, from what I've seen so far, is like if it's novel or new and like you have a hard time communicating what it is you do, videos are great for that, right? There's one like video I saw the other day, which is like a little like looks like a bath bomb, but you throw it in the water and it's like bait that like diffuses for like fishing. I'm like, that needs a video, right? I would not, if you were to tell me that, like doesn't make any sense. And you're like nodding your head as if you know, but you have to see the video.
But I see what you're saying, exactly.
But like this, I mean, it's great, and if you want to try it out, sure, but like you're probably just delaying them being able to convert. And so like you have the phone call, right? You have the form. You also in the corner have, this is something that like bugs me so much, is that this little live chat available that's like, hello, I am a chat representative. How may I assist you? And while it's smart to do chat, it's way smarter to not treat your visitor as a person who like walks into the clothing store.
Like a robot.
Like, and you're like, can I help you find anything? And you're like, no thanks, just looking. Like that's literally like what you always say, right? So instead, maybe ask a question that's like, when did you have the accident? How did it happen? Like something that's quicker for a response. And then you at least get somebody to like reply back, because a visitor always hopes that they're going to get an answer to their question as fast as possible. That's what they want. That's why that free case evaluator on the first example is smart, because it gets a person to put in the first, like, their foot in through your door.
Yeah.
Whereas all of this is just so much like, I don't want to put my foot in your door kind of thing.
No. And again, I think the number one thing that we need to focus on here too is bringing that form above the fold, making sure that people are aware of that.
Give me some more value than a free consultation.
Exactly.
I literally think that like if they flip this, no joke, if they flipped the find out if you have a case and then put the free consultation as like the subhead, it probably would perform better. Because people want to be like, this is the first example I've seen on this entire thing where they're like, oh, they're actually talking to see like, okay, yeah, I want to know if I have a case.
Yeah.
What if I dropped ice and like slipped on my own ice? Like I might not have a case.
And going back up to the phone number, because you made a really, really good point. That's definitely something. Sometimes people will want to call you directly instead of, filling out a form, so then you're going to call them later. But I don't really know. Again, it's telling me that to get a free consultation. So am I going to be speaking to a professional? Am I going to be speaking to a secretary in your front desk? What hours are you open?
Most likely,
all that stuff. Yeah. All of those FAQs should be answered next to that phone number as well, in case people do want to get quicker service than leaving their information in the form.
For sure. All right, let's go to the usability hub feedback. Let's see what people have to say. It's a little dark. And again, this is an example of like not a lot of it is like similar feedback, so like we're not going to take it too seriously. But if we ask more than 10 people, there's a really good chance like groupings and themes would start to emerge. And like, but never want to have to watch a video. I prefer to get the video in text, because like I don't even watch videos anymore. We're literally making a video, and I don't consume unless I'm like watching Bachelor.
It depends on the core offer for sure. If it's a product that people aren't familiar with, that's a great example of something to maybe have a video above the fold of like, this is how this product works. It's new.
Exactly.
You may not be familiar with it, but for a branded search for a lawyer, people are probably pretty familiar with what you do. So having a video is great to have on the landing page to get people more familiar with your team, especially if they're going to be working closely with them over really, really sensitive issues such as, personal injury.
For sure.
I think having that on the page is great. Just having it, somewhere, below the fold where the main focus is on the core offer in the form and getting that information,
Got it. I agree. Yeah. All right. Last example. This was the best one. So the search we did here was personal injury lawyer, New York. the first one that comes up is top rated accident lawyer. Immediately, they're not utilizing, their real estate space to get that 1-to-1 ratio that we talked about. And again, we see that improve performance by lowering cost per clicks across the board. Now, if everybody started doing that and all the ads look similar, I would definitely want to do something different. Yeah. But since nobody is, definitely take advantage of that. And so we clicked on this ad and we landed to this. And we were kind of overwhelmed. I mean, again, this is our personal feedback and experience, right? It doesn't matter. If this has a 50% conversion rate, like, show us the proof. We will do a follow-up of this, and we'll eat something that's not that delicious. We'll figure that out. But we assume that performance is not so great. And the reason why we think that is, one, we saw this in the feedback too, there's no call to action. Yep. It's not using the breadcrumb technique that we talked about. It's laden with text. Yeah. And it's also having like these little, things that can only add to friction points. If I click this, that goes away. If I click it back, it comes back. And then it has all these other links.
Yeah, the user experience on it is just not up to par.
And I would feel like somebody almost did this solely for like SEO purposes. Like they're just trying to fill in as much text as they possibly can to get like higher rankings. But like if you're getting a ton of traffic, which I don't even know if they are, but if they're not, if it's not converting, what's that traffic?
We don't know any information on what, if their conversion rate's great, if it's bad, if they're getting a lot of traffic, not a lot of traffic. We don't know any of that. But what we do know is that there is some low hanging fruit here and some easy wins that we can put onto the page, such as putting the call to action above the fold. People land on this page and they see this wall of text. I mean, that's going to be an instant, I don't know what to do here. And I'm overload of information. It's the paradox of choice. They don't know what their next steps are. You need to guide the visitor down and have your page be what Mimo, what's her name? I forget.
You want me to take it? I'll come back to you?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I clicked on the actual get free consultation and it takes us to the contact page where, it's not the best experience either. It has like, please provide a brief description of how you were injured. You can use this at the first step in a drop down. Keep it on the same landing page that we're already on, and then take away the subject because, there's only one reason why people are on this page, right? Yeah. You don't need to know that. And then you can ask these questions later as well, too, on the second step. But again, because I'm seeing like the whole I'm not a robot, the no solicitors or vendors, please. Yeah. It just shows me like you're not really caring about getting that person to call you or fill out a form as fast as possible. Yep. Because you're being lazy and taking them to the contact page.
Yeah, I think having a breadcrumb multi-step form on this page where you're asking qualifying questions of the visitor would be a great first step. I don't even know what's going on now. That's now. I think changing up the core offer so it's not a free consultation, seeing how much a case is worth. Right. Seeing, getting a case evaluation from a lawyer. Also providing a phone number that's readily available and very, very obvious. It might be, if you scroll up to the top, there might be some phone number. Nope, there's no phone number.
Maybe this little corner plus?
No. I mean, there's at least, there you go. There's a phone number, that's a fax.
Yep, and the phone number.
Yeah, so there's not even a phone number on this page. So, let's say I don't want to fill out a form. Right. I want to talk to someone directly. So I think that, putting a phone number to make it more obvious there.
And also doesn't even showcase like the actual... people, the team, because you don't want people going around your site. Like this is part of your site, right? This is not a regular standalone landing page. So that's also the downfall. But if you're also going to take them to your website, like I think it is smart to showcase like who's going to be handling the case. Yeah. If you want these micro improvements, I mean, this needs a complete overhaul, like complete redesign, bring it into the 21st century, use the breadcrumb technique, use the FAQs that we talk about that people most likely have questions about. How much could I make? Do I have a case? How long is the process of going through having a case? What is required of me? Like all those kind of things, right? Yeah. Like it's just low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, I think your landing page should really be a boulevard of green lights is kind of what I like to call it. And that's just making sure that as you go down the page, those frequently asked questions are going to be asked, in a particular order that really is going to make sense to the visitor. Yeah. And part of that is having the core offer of the fold.
And this, I love this. So many words.
Yeah.
Way too much text. Wall of text. Way too much text. Too much information.
It's pretty common feedback.
Too much small text for a landing page. So this is an obvious thing where, even though we only had 10 people giving us this feedback, it is all pretty much condensed around the same thing. Yeah. Too much text. And so use this, super, super cheap and easy to do. And you can actually split test and see, is it not performing better or is it not, right? And then take it from there. So
yeah. You want to make sure that all the text on your landing page is skimmable. So making sure that it's super easy to read, has a nice flow, very simple. This is just handing the person a document, basically, and just say, read this and let me know if you want to get back to me. But I'm not going to give you an easy way to get back to me because there's going to be no call to action. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you, Aaron. Thank you guys so much for joining us. Hopefully you got some value from it, and we'll see you on the next one.
Cool. Thank you.
Cool.